Cross-instance configuration. AutoSys workload automation cross-instance configuration on Linux. As a result of this module, we will learn what cross-instance dependencies are in AutoSys workload automation, how to configure cross-instance dependencies with AutoSys workload automation on the Linux platform, how to define a job dependent on a job in another AutoSys workload automation instance, and how to test the cross-instance dependencies configuration. In this video, we will demonstrate how to configure dependencies between instances on a Linux AutoSys server. For this exercise, we will use two AutoSys instances, the PRD instance and the ACE instance, running on the same computer. However, it is possible to have multiple instances of AutoSys running simultaneously on one or more computers. Different AutoSys instances can communicate to schedule workloads between them. This enables defining jobs that have dependencies on jobs running on other instances, known as cross-instance job dependencies. A job with these dependencies starts based on the other job's status. To establish communication between instances, we designate one instance as an external instance of the other. The external instance configuration between the instances must be defined in both directions. To define the external instance, we need to know the external instance's application server name and the port number it uses. To get the application server port of our PRD instance, we navigate to the Auto User folder and get the Auto Server port from the config file. For the PRD instance, the application server port is 9001. Now, let's go to the ACE instance. We navigate to the Auto User folder of the ACE instance and get the Auto Server port from the config file. The application server port for the ACE instance is 9000. The application server name is the Linux Server API. With this information, we can create the cross-instance configuration. Now, on the PRD instance, we are going to define ACE as an external instance of PRD. We use GIL commands to create the cross-instance configuration. To make it easier to enter the commands, we have created a txt file with the GIL subcommands and attributes required to create the external instance. Let's open the txt file. We are going to insert ACE as an external instance to the PRD instance. This is the ACE instance application server name. When the instance uses a shadow scheduler, you must add also the application server name and port for that shadow scheduler. And this is the port number of the application server. We enter the GIL command followed by an open-angled bracket and the name of the ACE txt file. The change has been applied successfully. ACE has been defined as an external instance of the PRD instance. If we enter the autorep command with the xall option to list all defined external instances, we see ACE is an external instance of type A, meaning it is an AutoSys instance. There are other types of instances for other platforms, and it is connected by port 9000 of the application server API. We also need ACE to have PRD as an external instance. We go to the ACE instance and open the txt file. We are going to include PRD as an external instance of the ACE instance. We specify the application server and port number. We enter the GIL command followed by an open-angled bracket and the name of the PRD txt file. The change has been applied successfully. PRD is now an external instance of the ACE instance. If we enter an autorep command with the xall option, we can see that the ACE instance has PRD as an external instance. Now we are going to create some jobs to test the cross-instance configuration we have done. We navigate to the web UI to test dependencies between jobs across different instances. We have a job in the PRD instance. The job is called PRD_job_test1. This job has a dependency and will start after the successful completion of ACE_job_test1 on the ACE instance. The circumflex symbol after the job name indicates that the job is executed on the ACE instance. Here we can see it graphically. There is a box, and inside the box is the job PRD_job_test1 that is waiting for the successful completion of the job ACE_job_test1 on the ACE instance. We are going to execute the box with the PRD job, and we will see that the job will wait for the ACE job completion. We open the log of the instances. This is the log of the PRD instance. And this is the log of the ACE instance. In the logs, we will see how these two instances will communicate with each other. Now, let's navigate to the web UI and go to the Monitoring tab. We go to the box and select the option for Start to run the box on the PRD instance. The box is in running status, and the job inside the box is activated. Let's go to the PRD log. We can see the box is running. If we go to the job in the web UI, we can see it is waiting for the ACE job. The PRD job has a starting condition to wait for the successful completion of the ACE job, and this condition is not yet satisfied. We go now to the ACE instance and run the job ACE_job_test1. We select the force start option to execute the job. The job is running. If we go to the ACE instance log, we can see the ACE job starts and how the ACE instance notifies the PRD instance that the job is starting. When the ACE job status changes to running, the ACE instance notifies the PRD instance that the job is running. The ACE job finishes, and its status changes to success. The ACE instance notifies the PRD instance the job status changed to success. We are on the ACE instance log. Now we go to the PRD log. The log displays all the ACE job statuses. When the PRD instance receives the notification that the ACE job status has changed to success, the job PRD_job_test1 starts on the PRD instance and completes with success. Here we can see all the events sent by the ACE instance. We have confirmed that the communication between the two instances is working. If we now go to the web UI, we can confirm the PRD job and box are in success status. We have completed the cross-instance configuration and demonstrated how the dependencies between instances work. In this module, we have learned cross-instance dependency allows us to define jobs that have dependencies on jobs running on other AutoSys instances. In the cross-instance configuration, one instance is defined as an external instance of the other using JL commands on Linux. The external instance configuration between the instances must be defined in both directions. The local instance sends event commands to the external instance to notify when the status of a job with cross-instance dependencies changes. The dependent job on the external instance conditionally starts based on the status of the job on the other instance.